Hi there viewers, thank you for joining us on our latest segment of Let's Talk. I'm with Rudy and Mooks alongside me this evening. First of all, I'd like to thank Exclusive Tints. You're probably looking behind me and see the Bugatti Veyron. Yes, we are currently in their premises in Newham, East London, and with their partnership with Maryland Gardens, which is important to mention. So we'd like to thank them for letting us use their premises for this recording. Now this weekly segment is on something which affects every single team, and it's probably a light topic, or it's a topic which is taken lightly by most leagues and most teams, and it's really regarding the weather. Simple as that. It's about the weather. Since January, we've probably meant to have about 8 or 9 game weeks, and we've only played 4 in that time, and we live in the UK, so we know that it is very difficult to predict the weather, which we don't do very well. but it is something which affects coaches, it affects players, it affects parents as well, everyone. I mean, we've actually felt it where a game's been cancelled beforehand and we have no one turning up at training because they know that there's no game, so there's no point. I don't need to train. Yeah. So it affects everyone. So I think that's what we want to try and go into in a bit more detail. Now, Rudy, what do you think? Do you think there needs to be an overhaul in terms of reassigning the months for the football season?
Something needs to change. Simple as that. Because it's a waste of time, waste of money, waste of a lot of resources. Leagues pay a lot of money to lease grounds. We pay a lot of money to hire those grounds for the leagues. So it's a merry-go-round domino effect, and it affects everyone. And parents pay for their child and the rest of it. So if you're taking out in a 20-22 week season from the start to the end, because we don't start till September and we go until about the end of April, that's about right, yeah? The 22 weeks of football, and then we take out 5 or 6 of them. It's not fair. It's not fair for the youngsters, it's not fair for the coaches, it's not fair for the parents, it's not even fair on the leagues, to be honest, because at the end of the day they're running a business, and it is a business, although it's, you know, it's youth football. But the fact of the matter is they have no choice but to cancel games because they have to maintain their pitches, and to play for 1 week in bad conditions could affect 5, 6, 7 more games throughout the season. So I don't dispute leagues cancelling their games, but the FA, the authorities in football, they need to look at it. They need to look at it, and it needs to change. So I'm not saying that let's move the World Cup to summer. I'm not going down that route. But I'm saying that they need to sit down and find out how it can be of convenience to every single party where we don't miss as many games of football. So yeah, something does need to be done about it.
I think it is something which is very difficult to tie in because, as you know, we have holidays. When it's Christmas holidays, we have a couple of weeks off of football. We have obviously even training, we have a couple of weeks off because players go abroad, families go abroad, they go for holiday, same June, Easter, and in the summer as well.
Yeah.
So people go abroad, so you've got to give them that time to, you know, with their family time and whatnot. Another thing is, in terms of changing it, we've mentioned about moving it. What about taking it indoor? What do you think, Ops?
There's positives to taking it indoor, but there's a lot of negatives that come with it. Personally, I think the younger ages, they'll benefit from playing indoor. They'll get more game time, like you said, less cancellations. But as they get older, and then they're thrown outside, thrown into the deep, and they go outside, it's cold and everything. They can't get used to the weather. Acclimatization takes a long time, especially with youngsters. I know they're very adaptive, but it won't help them. But maybe, like Rudy was saying, he was touching on a point, just maybe just shuffling it either way to kind of get the better of the weather, rather than just leaving it at.
So it means starting the leagues off instead of September, you mean later on? In the next thing?
Yeah, like I said, it all depends on the leagues and when they start and how many weeks they have.
The problem with that is if you start later, so we start September the 1st, we start when the school semester starts, that's when we start football, pretty much, give or take a week. They're not going to start leagues any earlier because it's in the middle of summer holidays. So they're not going to start it. We're ready to start it. We're in pre-season at that time. We're training. So most of our players, majority of our players are ready to start the league. I'd be happy for the league to be put forward. But like you said earlier, you touched on it, is that some players will be on holidays, and that's natural, that's normal, that's going to happen. Then to move it further up, we're still going to be in that January to March months where the games, where the weather is stupid. We're not going to be able to play those games regardless, so we're still going to be in the same predicament. As to moving it indoors, personally, I don't even know if it should be indoor or play futsal. Play futsal. Don't play football anymore. From after Christmas, for 3 months, call it the winter season, and just play futsal. So you might play 8 games or 9 games in an indoor or a 4G surface. Again, there needs to be an availability for these premises. You need to be able to find locations that can cater for the amount of teams that play in leagues. But league football on grass, maybe it's probably a better idea to stop it in the winter months, just to maximise, or just to even say to parents and youngsters that look, our season will be from August to December, and then from April to the end of school term. Yeah, so like the ELE league, I think they do it very well in terms of like from August to September they have a league. It's one full league, and then from January to April they have a league. So that's 4 months each way, kind of thing. So that's where you get your 22 weeks in. So how about if the FA says, okay, we go from September to December, the same way that we've been doing. That's League One. Then they sort out the promotions or whatnot. In between January and March, they play futsal for those teams that want to play. Again, there's no pressures on them, but there is no winter football. It just completely stop it. Yeah, and then from April onto when the school term ends, or from March, mid-March to when the school term ends, and the league start again. So what you're saying is, technically, in terms, I'm talking at from our league point of view, because we play all our games in one location. So you're preserving the grass in those winter months, because nobody's playing on them. Yeah, you still have them, but because nobody's playing on them, they're not getting cut up or nothing. By the time the spring starts, and the sun starts coming out a little bit, and you're getting into the 14, 15 degree weather, the pitch is perfectly fine. You can go back out there in mid-March, and the league starts all over again. So you're just cutting out those months. And for those people who are saying, for those people who might say that, Oxford, what do you do between January and March? Well, introduce futsal leagues. Let the boys go in and still play football, but in a different environment.
I mean, we see mainly South American countries which actually have futsal leagues, and we see a lot of footballers that come from South America which are racing the Premier League, the La Liga, and we see them on the World Cup stage or Euros in the World Cup stage. So, I mean, it does have an effect. You, Mobs, as a coach, would you want to be doing that? Would you want to have your first league outdoor, and you have the free march from, like Rudy said, from January to March? Would you want to be taking indoor and then again adapting to outdoor at the end of the season?
I think I would personally do it. I wouldn't have any particular onus on players that, you have to do it. Like I said, it's up to them, as the parents have the time commitments and stuff like that as well. But I think it will benefit players a lot. There's a lot more technical stuff when you're playing in that sort of thing. That's the benefit to it. Hence why a lot of these South American players are a lot more technical than certain European players. I'm going to say, if we just base it on English players, they are more technically gifted. It's because they're playing futsal, they're playing in a different environment, and they adapt to it. And they're constantly changing, so when the weather gets bad, they can play in that way. When the weather's hot, they can still play. Whereas at the moment, the way we're doing it is, kids, it's raining outside, no games for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever. And then everyone's rusty, they come back, first couple of weeks, it takes long to get back into it. Whereas they're still playing, just in a different environment. As the weather gets better, alright guys, let's go back outside. Basically, like you said, a new season. And in essence, if people want to take it as a winter break, they could take it as a winter break. If the families don't want to do it, or kids don't want to do it,
because
clubs don't want to do it, it's up to them.
They do a summer league anyway. So football is not. I know people say it's a winter sport, but it goes on all year round. Like these leagues will finish and then the summer league will start. So people it's for people who are interested. Predominantly, people play in the winter months, play from September to April. I'm not saying change that, to keep them length exactly the same, but I'm saying that these winter months, they're hindrance, because the facilities, we don't have them. So unless you want to give us the facilities, you want to give us heated pitches and the rest of it, then it's a different story. Then we'd say, okay, fine, we'll play throughout those months. But we don't have those facilities. So to save us, to save some money, or save parents and everybody else some trouble, they're going to school till the end of July anyway. That's not going to change. They're not going to start taking a holiday mid-May, are they? It's not going to happen. Why we stop playing football in April?
Push it a bit further down.
Push it up. Yeah, you know, you're talking about, okay, the Premier League stops in May. Yeah, because they need a break. They need to get back to pre-season and then start all over again. That's their job.
They get paid for it.
Yeah, they get paid for that. Now, I personally, as a coach, I've got no problem because I'm not going anywhere. So I'm going to be coaching from April to July anyway. And if that means I have to add a Sunday in there, then great. Because we're still, and then you could even say the 3 months that where you're out and play futsal or playing 5-a-side or 7-a-side, whatever you want to play. Like Mob said, at least that develops your technical skills. You're playing in a smaller environment, in a smaller space. You're getting more touches of the ball. You're developing yourself much better, and you're going to bring that to the table when you come out on the grass pitches. Then therefore, the natural effect is they go out onto a football pitch. They're technically better, yeah, because of the 3 months, because they've been playing in those 3 months. So they're technically better, and you're developing the footballers at a quicker rate, rather than they're always playing on grass in absolutely terrible conditions. What technical ability you got when the ball's bouncing and just, you know, coming back up in your face and mud coming up with it. You're not developing the game. You're not playing. At the end of the day, what you got to remember is these boys, they're not going out to play for. It's not Champions League. It's not the most important thing in the world. They're going out to develop. So if they're going out to develop, then why not develop under the best circumstances, or all the best circumstances that we can afford in a sense? Because we're not going to be funded. We're going to all kid ourselves that the FA will fund us. Bollocks. No one's funding nothing. Yeah, it's just never going to happen. So why not? Let's just go out there and say to the leagues, look, it needs to be a united thing. Everyone needs to be saying the same thing, because I know what some coaches are like. I know what some teams are like. You know, they may go week in, week out not winning games, so they think when a break comes along, or you know, because there's bad weather, they're actually celebrating that. Yeah, and you've seen the way we are when we have a break. We can't handle it. We don't know what to do. We're lost.
You've built that momentum up, and the players are ready to go.
It's a problem because we do stuff in training for the game. So it's game specific training at times. You know, we have days where it's game specific training, and then we're coming to the game day, and in the morning of the game, they're saying to us, "There's no game." So all that we've just done is completely wasted, because we don't have the luxury of going back to training on Monday morning and then doing it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We've got one day a week, that week, to go back to it. So the kids naturally start thinking, well, are we going to be playing? You know, do we really need to put the effort in?
Yeah.
You know.
And as a coach, you do see it.
Yeah. Like I said, you see it in training where players, they feel a bit disheartened. Like, you know, the weather's been a bit crap, so we're not going to get a game this week anyway, so why should I even make the effort?
It's like the perfect example was today. I mean, players look at the forecast. I mean, when they've got a game on Sunday, they're looking at the forecast throughout the week, just like us coaches. And a lot of players turned up yesterday saying that actually most likely
they've already made their mind up before the game. Parents have made their mind up. You might as well play a game today in training because we're probably not going to get one tomorrow. You know, it completely it sidetracks us from what we're trying to do. So if we've got a development phase going on and we say, okay, from this week to this week, week 1 to week 4 we're doing this, week 5 to week 8 we're doing this, it completely ruins it. You wouldn't see that in any other environment. You know, you don't go to school and things be like, oh, it's raining outside, that's it, school's closed, woo, everybody go home. It's not going to happen because they've got a specific schedule that they need to hit. You know, there's a criteria they need to hit. As football clubs, as football organisations, we also have those criteria that we need to hit. We're trying to develop the next generation. Yeah. I keep saying it over and over again. I'm not surprised English football is as bad as it is, because the boys are not technically good enough. The reason why they're not technically good enough is because street football is demolished. The reason why street football is demolished is because everyone's playing on grass in poor conditions. Yeah. Now people say, oh, playing on concrete isn't any better. No, it's not any better. But you're playing in an enclosed space. Yeah. You know, there's less rules.
You're talking the old school, they're playing in a cage.
You're playing, exactly that.
Metal balls.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's fine. It develops you because you're playing with a wall, or you're playing in such a small environment. You want to get the ball. You become comfortable with the ball. You know, you become comfortable. I'll go back to the Belgium model and what they like to do in Belgium, and they don't start playing proper football till they're 14. You know, we start proper football at 13 or 12. We're 12 years old, we start proper football. When they are under 7s and under 8s, they play 2 versus 2 a goalkeeper and a player and a goalkeeper and a player, 2 versus 2. So they get maximum touches of the ball.
They're constantly
That's where you develop technical skill. And then once the winter season starts, they all go indoor. They all go indoor for the winter break, and then they all come back out. It's a system that works. America does it as well. It's a system, and now people say America is not the greatest footballing nation in the world. But they understand that, okay, look, weather isn't great during this time and this time.
They're getting better.
No, but
You could say that.
it's up to
Years ago.
It's up for debate. It's up for debate. Let's be realistic.
But I
It's up
think
for
in
debate.
terms of investment, I think we'd all agree that it's there, and it's not just investment. It's about utilizing the best you have, and I think that's what they're doing. Like you can see Belgium, they're reaping rewards. I mean,
Yeah.
they've got in the Premier League, you're talking about some of the best players to ever play for Man City.
But hands down, the best team on piece of paper. Hands
exactly,
down, you know.
But and like they're getting it, they're gelling together. They're gonna.
It's all because they've all got a style. They all do something different to what we do. But they take all the factors into consideration. So if there's a factor that says that, okay, weather affects our grassroots, then they do something about it. They don't sit on their laurels and be like, we just won't do anything. They've got a £300 million investment. They're getting £8 billion in TV revenue in this country. Where's the money for the people who need it? It's not there, it's not available. Great, thank you. Just tell us that to our faces. It's not there, it's not available. We'll make our own kind of like, we'll have to do something as a separate organization or something. Give us our own FA, like a grassroots FA or something that sponsors and investors can invest in. Because the Football Association ain't doing nothing about it. They're not going to do anything about it. So what's the point? What's the point of sitting here and saying...
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you there. I feel
when I get into it, it's
I think it is definitely a topic to discuss for another day on its own. But I think you're both right. I think we do have to, especially the FA, I think they've got to look at, I wouldn't say changing the system, but maybe adapting it like other countries have done so. We mentioned Belgium, we mentioned America. So I think that's certainly...
Spain, Germany, and the rest of it.
Exactly, yeah. So if European countries can do it, why we...
Oh, of course it's doable. Like their weather is pretty much similar to ours anyway. Yeah, and they cater for their weather. Now the subject matter is the weather. At the end of the day, that's what we said we're going to discuss. I don't want to have a bit of tangent there, but the subject matter is the weather. But the FA plays a massive part in it. It's reform at the end of the day. They've looked at it. It's not like it's 1 year old, or 2 years old, or 3 years old. It goes on year in, year out. It's every single year, at the same time, the same problem happens. When we were playing, it was exactly the same problem. So in 10 years since we were playing to where we're coaching now, the problem hasn't changed, then something needs to be done about it at the end of the day. My idea isn't the most, stupid idea in the world. It's just trying to encourage, you're trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone in one sense. So you're still keeping your football season. It's from school start to school end, so it's not a hindrance to parents or children. They don't have to go out their way during holidays to play football. So it's suitable for us because we still get our breaks between July and September. We still get our break, and we can recruit and do the rest of it in that time. And in that middle section, from January to March, you're able to work on a whole new technical aspect, which means coaches develop a whole new mindset about football. Because at the moment, we have long ball and we have teams playing in through to the channels, and there's nothing wrong with it if that's what your strengths are. But wouldn't we like to, as a nation, have more technical football players who are comfortable on the ball, who are able to beat a man, who are able to pass in tight spaces? It's the way football's supposed to be played.
It's exciting that way.
Exactly.
I think you're both right. It is something the FA need to look into. Maybe you don't
Come
know,
and talk to me.
They might see our video.
I doubt it.
We don't know. We stay positive. I mean, Dr. Zach, saw one of our videos.
Dr. Zach's my point.
So I mean, if you've seen our video, please continue spreading it. Subscribe, like, and just keep retweeting. I mean, we're here to talk about grassroots football on a weekly basis, and we enjoy what we do. Maybe the FA should come down and actually talk to people in grassroots rather than talking to people that we don't know about, which are supposedly in grassroots.
Anybody wearing a suit with grey hair is not in anything. He's not showing up to he's not showing up to no garage in a Bugatti in the back to sit down with us. Let me tell you that much.
No, thank you very much for being with us.
Remember, like, subscribe, share.
Same old.
Exclusive tints if you need to get your car tinted. And Maryland Gardens, if you want to enjoy a nice chilled out evening, just check them out. Instagram, check us out. Instagram, Twitter, and the rest of it. And see you next week. Bye, peace.